Welcome to Private Club Radio, your weekly source for industry education, news and discussion. Broadcasting from Tampa, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Gabriel Aloisi.
Hey, top of the morning to you here on Private Club Radio. It's wonderful to be with you once again this week. I've got a very special guest, Bert Mackay, who's the general manager at the Castlerock Golf Club. And if you follow me on social media, you're sure to have seen a few of my shots or photos from Castlerock. What a gorgeous setting for golf. Northern Ireland in general, just an amazing place. And I got lucky enough to play Castlerock during their media day. Now, this was a very savvy move on the part of Bert, because what he did was he put on this event at Castlerock during Open Championship Week. I think that's really a spark of genius and something a lot of you clubs out there can do when you've got a tournament in town. Maybe it doesn't have to be the Open Championship, but if you've got some sort of PGA Tour event, what a great way to shed a little bit more spotlight on your club and take advantage of that. And that's exactly what Bert did. So he invited the international media. He had people from ESPN. He invited the Golf Channel. He had bloggers and influencers and all sorts of people related to golf. There were some really interesting folks. In fact, I got to play with a couple really interesting guys from the White Ball Club. I also played with a tour operator, and there were people like bloggers and even folks that worked on websites about golf gambling and betting. And so it was a real cool mix of people. But like I said, I got really lucky because I got paired up with the two founders of the White Ball Club. And these guys were hilarious, as you are about to hear. So let me set this up for you real quick. I'm going to play a quick audio clip. So we're standing at the tee box, and off to our right is another fairway where another group is playing up the other side. And here's what they had to say.
Joe, you want to wait until these guys on the other fairway move?
No.
Those guys, I mean.
It's like playing in Egypt.
Okay, do you not like him?
I don't know.
Okay, aim for him, you won't hit him. Head down.
He's staring over the ball and he's about to take his shot. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's a great shot. I mean, somebody just needs to move the earth 13 yards left.
A vicious duck hook. Could be sending.
That's exactly where I wanted to be.
Now, I had just given him a Vice golf ball to try.
Desperate to lose that Vice ball.
I've never seen a ball fly like that
have
before.
another one.
I tell you no. Have you ever heard of these Vice balls? They're absolutely... They go a little bit off the heel.
The next victim steps up to the tee box here.
Screamer.
Can I get a rewind?
That's a Titleist ball, that.
And that one actually went straight.
Yeah. This is not the type of Vice that Lowell likes.
I'm up next, and as you'll hear, I had trouble getting the tee into the ground. The ground is a little hard here in Ireland. You guys have like steel tees? Because I can't even get my tee in the ground.
Yeah, I sometimes can't get it in either. Spit on it.
Do you want me to
Buy the beer.
Yeah, I'll put it in for you.
I'm using a plastic tee, and it's literally bending as I put it in.
That's because your tee's broken.
Here.
Oh, hey. Hey. I know. Not my first time.
Oh, yeah, there's a birthday cake candle holder.
Yeah.
Watch, Joel, snap that now.
So I could not do it, and so Lowell came over to help. All right, thank you.
Yes. When you're ready.
They do say the Irish hospitality is unmatched.
Yeah, we're English.
Honorary Irish.
I went left
Yeah.
too.
Oh, that's a great shot.
The Vice likes it over there.
Yeah, I think those Vice balls will...
They just like it over there.
Work well.
Got the slicey Vice.
I hope you bought a box of 12.
They're leaning further left than Bernie Sanders.
Keep that tee, Gabe.
So there's a little taste of the good-natured ribbing that happens in Ireland when you're playing golf. I mean, those guys were over the top, as you could probably hear. And what's also nice about Irish golfers that I noticed in Northern Ireland is that they're always giving you an excuse or letting you off the hook. So if you maybe push your shot a little right and you land short of the green, they'll just tell you, oh, that was unlucky. Or they'll give you some other way to feel a little bit better about yourself. So I really enjoyed golf in Northern Ireland. By the way, it's a pretty cool concept. The whiteballclub.com is the website. And basically you can gain access to some of the most exclusive clubs around the world. Might be another good idea for your members. All right. So let's get back to Castlerock and Bert. So Bert was kind enough after the end of the day to spend a few minutes with me to talk about the enormous changes that he's made at Castlerock Golf Club. Castlerock, if you don't know it, is a real hidden gem, in my opinion. It's not one that gets a lot of international acclaim. And if you're looking at like the rankings of Northern Ireland golf clubs, you probably immediately think of Royal County Down, and now, of course, Royal Portrush after the Open. But Castlerock is right up there on that list. It is a pretty stunning and spectacular track of its own, especially the view from the 17th hole. There are not many more stunning vistas that you'll ever come across on a golf course than the 17th at Castlerock, as you look down on all the dunes and the bunkers and the rolling fairways all the way into the sea. And you stand up there and you're just in paradise. There's no other way to explain it. I have a video actually of me teeing off from the 17th hole that's gotten a lot of reactions on Twitter and LinkedIn and some of the other social media out there. And it's for good reason. That's one of the best views in all of Northern Ireland golf. And there's a lot of great views, let me tell you. So Bert is just a really, really interesting guy. He's a really nice guy. He's a gentleman. And I think you're going to enjoy this chat that I have with him. Now, as you'll hear, Bert is not from Northern Ireland originally. He is a Scotsman. In fact, he used to work over at Loch Lomond. And for those who don't know Loch Lomond, that's basically the Augusta of Scotland. It's an extremely private club, and unlike many clubs in Scotland that are open to the public, there's very little chance of anyone playing. It's kind of like trying to get on at Augusta. But he was head golf professional and operations manager there for over 5 years and held numerous other positions at the club for 6 years prior to that. He's also had a little stint in Arizona, and so he's gotten a little taste of our side of the pond as well. But Bert is just an all-around nice guy. I think you're really going to enjoy this episode as you learn about a gentleman who takes a community golf club, and that's what a lot of clubs are in Northern Ireland. They're not the big, giant, gated front entrances we have here in the United States. These clubs are community clubs that sit just outside the downtown area on a coastal town. And Bert's done an amazing job of turning that community club into a little bit of an international destination. And I think you're going to enjoy this chat with Bert Mackay. I am standing on the 18th green at Castlerock with Mr. Bert Mackay, the general manager here at the club. And Bert, you just put on a pretty fabulous day for us, media and all surrounding the open activities happening here in the area. Tell us a little about the day.
Perfect. No, it was a great day, and the sun was shining, and maybe the golf wasn't so good. But, we had media from like ESPN, Golf Channel, BBC, sort of about 10 different tour operators, along with some local media as well. So it was a lovely day. We had about 80 people playing golf and another 15, 20 join us this evening. So, a lovely night.
Yeah. So how did a Scotsman start managing a club here in Northern Ireland?
Look, I was over at Loch Lomond for 16 years. The opportunity arose to come over to be general manager, and background was my background originally was food and beverage, and then it kind of fell into golf and became a golf pro. So it kind of was the next step in my career. But look, I live in the village. It's 150 yards from the beach, so it was nice with a young family. It's a great place to grow up.
I bet. So this Open is really special, not just for Portrush, but really for the entire country of Northern Ireland. Why so?
I think it's just really putting the North Coast on the map. I mean, people have heard of Portrush. They've heard of Rock County Down because it's number one in the world. But you have so many other good golf courses. I mean, you have starting all the way down at Arglass, coming up into Rock County Down, Portrush, Portstewart, Castlerock, and then ultimately you have Ballyliffin. So you have a great cluster of phenomenal links golf. And I think it's such easy access now from America that, it really is just an easy trip to put together now.
Yeah. So when folks are coming from North America and they want to check out the Emerald Isle, why should they put Castlerock on their list?
You just have a rugged traditional links golf course. You have some towering dunes, probably some of the biggest dunes on the North Coast. You have, just a great golf course in its own right. But I mean, as you say, you compile it with Portstewart, Portrush, Rock County Down. You have a bucket list trip right there. And there's more than golf, and I think that is certainly the message of the Open this week, that there's, the golf courses speak for themselves and will stand any golf trip in the world. But you have some great scenery, you have great bars, restaurants, tourist attractions, Game of Thrones, Giant's Causeway, the whole package is there.
Yeah, I think there's like something for everyone here, especially for a family. This is a great destination. But what makes this a great club for you, Bert, Castlerock?
we've got 1,100 members, a thriving junior section, and a big membership. But the members are open their arms and welcome people in, which is the most important thing. Visitors were here today, and we had members caddying, we had members on the first tee, we had members in the bar, and they all want to see the visitors. I mean, I think that, what stands us apart from the other golf clubs, and they all do things fantastically well, is that we just, our benchmark is the traditional Irish welcome. So from everybody, whether it's the kitchen porter, the chef, whoever it is, the only message we ever want to send is that it's a family welcome. So, and hopefully that comes across.
You've got some unique holes down here at Castlerock. I mean, standing at the 7T box is just a spectacular view. Might be one of the best views in all of golf, I would say. And I've been a lot of places. But what are some other holes that stand out for you? What makes this place special?
I think some of the, we have some very unique holes. I mean, I think probably the 9th, it's par 3, it's 210 yards, plays into a bowl-shaped green, but epitomises everything that is links golf. It has the rugged terrain around the hole. You're playing into a well-protected little green. It really epitomises everything that is links golf. So I think that's a standout for me. And 7 is another great hole where, again, you're playing out towards the ban, views of Donegal, and then up round to the left into the green. So, we're very fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've overseen some big changes here in the last couple of years. Tell us about some of those, Bert.
Yeah, we started about 18 months ago with Martin Hawtrey. Martin came in. It was going to be primarily just a bunker project. And then he decided, we'll try and stay true to the roots. The problem is some of the bunkers were such badly positioned and poorly designed that we needed to then run in and run outs. So all of a sudden, instead of just doing the bunker, we're doing like a 5-meter ring round the bunker to build the complex. So in doing that, we decided, look, let's bite the bullet. We had a couple of weak holes already. So we have, the second played today is a brand new hole. And the 15th, the par 5, again, is basically from the tee all the way forward is a new hole. So we did 6 holes with Martin. We did 1 in-house, so we're 7 holes in. And the plans are there now just to ultimately roll out another few holes.
Yeah.
So always pushing the boat.
Yeah. What other plans do you have coming here to Castlerock in the next few years?
We're looking at a couple of holes. We're looking at probably the 7th, changing the tee position, extending 5. We've got some new mow lines out there that we're testing out just now, trying to make 5 a little bit tighter. 5's a par 5. It's relatively short, but the fact that it gets so narrow up there, people are laying further back, so it makes the second shot slightly longer. So there's little things that we're testing out just now, just to see how the holes will play when we do lengthen or do the renovations. So, like anywhere, Portrush has spent a lot of money on the Open. Portstewart spent a lot of money, Ballyliffin. So we kind of need to be progressing. If you're standing still, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely true. How are you going about getting buy-in from your members and from your staff about some of these improvements that you're making here?
I think when they see the plans, they understand that you're going to have a better golf course. You're going to offer better value for money. People that are coming here are going to be playing a better golf course, which is what they expect. You're playing, on a bucket list trip, you could be playing an open venue, a number 1 in the world course, and a golf course that's held Irish Open. If you're playing a dog track, then regardless of what you charge, it's not going to be right. So we need to keep pushing the envelope. As far as the staff buy into the idea. We've been on a journey now for 5 years that had no visitors or very little. We've grown in excess of 180% in growth and green fee revenue. But we all, it needs to be a team buy-in. We all need to jump on the same page and understand that we are a relatively cheap golf club for local members. But to balance the books, there needs to be some other revenues coming in.
Yeah. So for other clubs out there, in a similar situation that are, maybe looking to get a little boost from the international crowd, what would be some of your advice you give to some of those clubs?
I think that a lot of people in the golf industry, certainly in the past, have always seen their neighbouring golf course as a threat. I think that mindset needs to change. You need to see that it's, for me, having Portrush on my doorstep is the biggest positive I have. Nobody's going to come and play Castlerock in its own right, but paired with the other golf clubs we've mentioned, that's a selling point. So I think working together very carefully and cleverly with those, I think, we're very fortunate. We have a good relationship with Tourism Northern Ireland and a number of tour operators. So it makes it very easy for us.
Yeah. Tourism Northern Ireland's just done an incredible job putting on this whole thing and really building it up for a couple of years. What's that meant for your golf club to have a governing body like that that's really helped you?
I think they're forward thinking. That's, ultimately that's what it comes down to. They are a forward thinking governing body that you see the benefit of tourism. They understand what the tourist, especially the golf tourist, brings to as an average spend. A golfer spends something like 3 times more on a trip than a leisure visitor. So it's a very easy growth market for them. And then the golf course and the North Coast are just getting recognised. So as soon as those rankings go up, it's an easy sell. I think the stat is something like 80% of all links golf courses are in the UK and Ireland. Of Northern Ireland, we have an open venue, which nowhere in Ireland you can get. You have number 1 in the world, and you have, we're sandwiched between 2 Irish open venues. So, we're up there with some of the greatest golf trips you can put together.
That's right. Bert, any parting words you'd like to have for the audience, and maybe a word of inspiration or something that's helped you throughout your career?
You know what? I've never been scared to ask a question. And I think that, I started, and the first meeting I ever had was with Wilma at Portrush. And I was never scared to ask her the question how she did it, because, 25, 30 years ago, Portrush did not have the visitors they have now. Michael Moss was at Port Stewart. And I think getting to know the people, and don't be scared to ask the question. I would be picking tourism in Northern Ireland's brains on a regular basis, and nobody would hound them more than me. So, if you don't ask, you don't get.
That's true. That's a great lesson in life in general. Bert, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks so much for hosting us here at this wonderful club, and I can't wait to tell the story for folks out there. They have to see Castlerock to believe it.
Oh, that's great. Look, thanks very much, Gabe. Great seeing you.
Yeah. So just a very special place that Castlerock Golf Club is. I cannot wait until I get back there. And I highly recommend that you put Northern Ireland, and especially Castlerock, on your list of golf destinations to take your members. It is a stunning and lively and welcoming country, and you won't be disappointed. You'll be a hero, I promise. Before I leave you today, just want to remind you of our sponsor and partner here on the show, Member Text. Just a great way to communicate with your members. It's a lot more efficient than email, get a lot more done, and you can also communicate with your teams as well. Check it out at membertext.net and tell them I sent you. I'll catch you back here next week on Private Club Radio, and until then, here's to your membership success.
Private Club Radio is brought to you by Concert Golf Partners, helping to preserve and enhance private golf and country clubs. Concert Golf has the capital, expertise, and private club hospitality experience to help upscale private clubs achieving long-term success and membership growth. For 25 years, Concert Golf has allowed private club members to focus on simply enjoying their club. Visit concertgolfpartners.com to learn more about the recapitalization process.